The following material may contain sex, coarse language, and violence.
You will leave back towards the temple.
I'm kind of looking a little shocked because, of course, I don't know the specific details of this.
Severus like, wait, he was a Tauric cleric this whole time?
Yeah!
No! What?
I'm just biting my tongue and just looking very shocked.
Are all the others all busy quietly talking with each other?
Well, they're all spread out across the island. Ain't no one knows shit
so it's
yet.
just us.
Well, I'm not going to say anything until Red Ninja's gone. Squeak indeed.
Ask.
What just happened was...
A dark worshipper got destroyed.
Where'd he get... where did that symbol come from?
The island.
Wait, so there really was someone else on here that...
I found a symbol on the island.
someone on here that...
I found a symbol on the island.
I'm guessing Red Ninja took the symbol with him because
Yes.
the dragon wants it split in two and blah, blah, blah.
It will be thoroughly desecrated.
I'm sorry for what I've had to do.
So he wasn't...
No,
good.
but you know what they're going to do to your symbol.
We can't... Well, we've got a week. But I'm a little concerned more about something else rather than that symbol.
What are you concerned about?
Oh yeah. We've only got a week to... I mean, that's... Granted, and that's actually more time than I thought we were going to have. I assumed we were only going to have a couple of days.
When you think about it, you really do only have a couple of days because you still need to get away from the island. Because let's say you spend the whole week rescuing her, and he shows up and he's like, "Oh, she's not right where I wanted her to be. Oh, time to go looking for her. There she is." Then I have foil wrapped, pre-packed luncheon meats, and well, shit, this meat just keeps regrowing itself. This is great.
This is perfect.
Wonder if you don't cook it the first time completely.
I get to do the dragon equivalent of.
It's just one. Let's be honest. So we need to get her.
Yeah. Yes.
So she's apparently somewhere beneath that place that
We also need to stop this.
we do. So we need to find a way to. By the gods, we have to do both. We might actually have to put off
No,
rescuing her by
No.
a little bit.
I think we take her and get out of here. We don't have the ability to take out a dragon.
I'm not sure by traditional means. There must be something we can do. A spell, some kind of poison, I don't know.
And where are we going to find that?
I don't know, but
We obviously need to find this
what
book.
do you think's going to happen when he discovers she's not there, or
Oh,
the
he'll-
cult discovers she's not there?
If we're lucky, he might try and attack the city.
That's if we're lucky, okay.
Well, what would be better than having drow that can use magic and have abilities and weapons and armies that could take and fight a dragon. They're trained to do that.
We know of another dragon. A good dragon.
A smaller dragon.
If what this one said is true, then they would have to listen to him.
But he's an evil dragon, and the other one is a silver dragon. They're directly opposed to each other. They're like enemies.
Who said this?
Silver dragons have been mentioned as being aligned with justice. It's in Toric passages and books.
I believe you, Saphira, but again, what can be written may not be true. I don't mean to doubt your texts.
I think I know what you mean. You're not saying that the books are lies, but they could be mistaken. I understand.
I've learnt many things since
You
I've been
guys
away.
sure do spend a lot of time talking about dragons on beaches.
Hello again.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm alright. How are you doing?
Not too
Good.
bad.
Super
What
good.
have you been up to?
Oh, looking around. Poking around the place. It's kind of boring here.
So whereabouts is Roya?
I don't know. Haven't found her. Was I supposed to be looking?
Well,
She's not part of this plan? You guys don't tell me anything, you know that, right?
You keep disappearing.
That's hardly my fault.
No, it is. You're
No,
the
you
one
guys
who-
just go to sleep, and what am I supposed to do? Just sit there and watch you snooze?
don't
We
you
don't
sleep?
always go to sleep. Sometimes we
Well,
talk to
yeah.
you, we turn away, turn back, and you're just gone.
That doesn't sound right. I'd remember that.
Like turn around?
No, she'll do it again. Stop it. She's still there. That might be because I'm looking at her out the corner of my eye.
Oh my god. You didn't believe she would still be there. But when you turn around...
Somehow, at that one moment, Saphira blinks.
See? Your whole argument is invalid.
Yes, anyway, she may be down in a
Okay, what's
special...
that got to do with dragons?
I think
The
we should
dragon's going
sacrifice
to
a
eat
drow.
her.
No, you're not going to let that happen, right?
No, the whole plan is to stop it.
Hey, there you go.
But not have the whole cult come down on our heads.
That's more difficult.
Well, I mean, we do have a method of getting her out of here unseen.
You do? That's a challenge.
Right?
Sounds like you're not so sure of your vaunted plan.
We have ways of getting her out, yes.
Yeah. But the trick is that we also have to get off the actual
Yes.
island? Peninsula? I don't know what this is.
Yeah, it's kind of an island.
Okay.
I mean, it isn't, but it
I've
kind
been
of
around
is.
half the sides, but I don't know about the other side. Like, I've been around most of the edge of this area, but don't know what's over there. I haven't been over there yet.
Well, surely you're doing quite well for yourselves.
We'll be doing better when we find her.
Will you, though?
Well, we'll be doing a lot better when we get her off this place.
Back to the relative comfort of a drow city.
Better than a dragon's belly.
I find them both very similar in a lot of ways. It's, dark, kind of hurty.
Right, this isn't getting the stuff done that we need to get done. We need to find where she is.
In case you don't know, oh no, never mind, you do know.
Okay, good talk.
What?
No, she knows. She appeared during some of that. Never mind.
You want to know something that you've forgotten?
What's that?
You lost the tournament.
Yeah, that would have happened last night before.
This is more important.
For you, yes.
For everything.
Sorry?
You heard what they said happens after he eats
Oh,
her.
yes, but again, at the time, this wasn't as important to Jor-Karroc and Em. They wanted to fight in the arena.
Yes, that's understandable. I want to as well, but priorities.
Yes, you needed Roya to fight in the arena with you.
Well, there's also that, but we also need her not
Is that
to get...
what this is all about?
We also need
Wow,
her
you're
not to get
really
eaten
scummy.
and rise and get this dragon to start the new Dark Times.
They have a book in the back room. I've seen winter written before. It's been pointed out to me by Roya. They've got a book with her name in it. With her family name.
What is her family name?
Wait, so...
That might be why they know so much about her.
So she's not just a sacrifice, she's a specifically chosen sacrifice.
I don't know. The front of the book had winter on it, and that's all I could tell.
Maybe it's talking about the season.
Not likely.
The winter? She made a point that it had to be de winter. Because calling her just winter was...
Celine Ayo de Winter.
I think there was her name somewhere.
The D for the last name is like really old form. No one really does that anymore, but some houses still cling to it. It signifies like a position. I don't really remember too much about that.
But it's in the back room.
Wow, looks like we have to go to the back rooms. Oh, it's going to be yellow.
Wait. How did you recognise what it said?
She said that. She's seen it written down before.
She's been helping me with...
Oh, she's been trying to teach you words.
Some.
Yeah,
That's
reading's
nice,
an important skill for some people. Women mainly. Clerics.
Thank you.
Merchants, not so much, weirdly. You'd think so, but no. They only need to know how to count.
I would like to see this book. But I'm guessing I can't just wander in there and read it.
Sure
What?
you can. It's getting away with that that's the hard part.
They didn't stop me.
Interesting. They would have information on her down here of all places.
Why? Maybe they've been looking into... As it said, lineages of specific people to sacrifice.
I'm not used to this much planning for dragon cults.
I don't think this is a normal dragon cult.
This wouldn't have been so weird if it was in
What's a
Merlin.
normal dragon cult?
One like we met in Merlin.
That don't make no kind of sense to me. I mean, like, dragon cultists all have to be, like, really weird to begin with.
Well, they were helping another god that walked the earth.
That's getting stupidly common. I don't like it.
That one was scary.
Yes, that one is scary. Any god that walks around on the world is scary, by definition.
Oh,
It's
no,
not a good thing.
no, this
No.
one
It's not
was...
supposed to be happening.
I know, but this one was horrific.
Do goddesses count?
Yes.
That was a goddess, remember?
No, I was. Yeah.
No, it's wrong. It's not
I
right.
was just thinking of another one.
Well, don't.
Well, I
creepy.
mean, we've got to rescue her from down here as well. I don't know how.
Well, standing around and talking about it is only going to achieve some of that.
So you need to go see that book. I'll look elsewhere for other things.
Yes, if you can search underneath that whole building,
I wouldn't even know where to go.
there must be something that leads down to where she is. If she is under there.
I'll see.
But that's the rumours, well, at least according to our, yeah. Point at fused, burnt, smoking skeleton.
Well, then let's look.
Let's find out what happens.
It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about control and if you can take it. All about your depth and if you can pay it. All about pain and who's gonna make it. I am the game, you don't wanna play me. I am control, no way you can change me. I am heavy in depth, no way you can pay me. I am the pain and I know you can take me. Look over his shoulder, ready to run like a good little bitch from a smoking gun. I am the game and I make the rules. So move on out here and die like a fool, trying to figure out what my move's gonna be. Come on, over sucker, why don't you ask me? Don't you forget that the price you can pay. Cause I am the game and I want to play. It's time to play the game. about the game and how you play it. It's all about control, and if you can take it, all about your depth, and if you can pay it, all about pain and who's gonna make it. I am the game, you don't wanna play me. I am control, no way you can change me. I am heavy in depth, no way you can pay me. I am the pain and I know you can take me. Look over his shoulder, ready to run like a good little bitch from a smoking gun. I am the game and I make the rules, so move on out here and die like a fool, trying to figure out what my move's gonna be. Come on over soccer, why don't you ask me? Don't you forget that the price you can pay, 'cause I am the game and I want to play. It's time to play the game. It's time to play the game. It's time to play the game. Bow down to the king.
They told me there'd be adventure, then they left me. Repeatedly I'm left alone. I want some freedom. I think I should adventure. It looks so much fun. I could cook all kinds of things from things I see. I adventure alone because they abandon me.
And so it came to pass that as Tiller moved beyond that room and into another, he was thrilled to discover,
Oh good, more parchments and words. Thrilling adventures await me within. This Matham house is boring. It was so exciting at first, but now it's just boring. Books and parchments and long-forgotten lore. Who would want this sort of thing? What people want is lances and swords and sometimes farming equipment. Let's be honest here, we'd all be dead without farmers and hunters.
casting about himself for anything that might be vaguely interesting, say, a book on exciting adventures, although Tiller's opinion had always been that books on exciting adventures were second best to actually going on exciting adventures. It had always been his opinion that unless one was engaged in an exciting adventure, or between exciting adventures, there wasn't really any time for books. And if you had enough time to sit around and read a book, why weren't you out looking for exciting adventures? That is why he had joined the party of the Rat Paladin, only to discover that they sure did spend an awful lot of time sitting around and talking about adventures, mostly being convinced to not go on them because they were dangerous. Danger, Tiller thought, was part of the excitement, although he had learned that mostly what danger was scary. Very scary. Tiller resolved that he would be more brave. How he was going to do this was beyond him.
Perhaps there's a book on being more brave here,
he said, casting about, sudden hope entering his heart, the fact that he was being pursued having entirely slipped his mind. He cast about, looking around the spines of various tomes, at boxes containing pages that purported to also be tomes,
Other books placed upon bookshelves or plinths proudly displayed their covers, which, for the most part, were fairly dull. Mostly woodcut or pressed, embossed leather covers. Sometimes with a picture, although often not. But then, one picture indeed caught his eye. It looked very much like a member of the party he travelled with. The tall woman that the big hero Saphiro seemed to be partially obsessed with. But it wasn't quite her. But that wasn't a book on adventure or bravery, so Tiller passed from this room and out into the next hall. Ah, now this was more like it. Here was another suit of armour, and over there, the head of some kind of great beast. He wasn't sure what it was. Large skull standing there, with a long snout. The skull itself approximately Tiller's size if he was standing up in height. Pointed, curved teeth filled the upper and lower jaw, and large, empty eye sockets stared out. It rather looked a bit like a bird, if a bird had a long snout filled with teeth instead of a beak. Tiller marvelled at it as he passed beyond, therefore not noticing the object on the plinth directly opposite it. An object that the party of the Rat Paladin would likely never know about, although it would solve many of their problems. And of course, they would never know about it, because that would be meta-knowledge, wouldn't it? And the likelihood of them coming here and then looking at that could only be contrived. And so, he moved out. Finding himself a little window, he crawled out of it. The roof was not the top roof of the Matham house. He looked around in wonderment, having somehow forgotten the marvels of this strange city.
Wow, this building goes up even more. Oh, but it's probably just what if it isn't just books?
He briefly debated going back inside. Should Tiller go back inside? He knew he might find something interesting. But there was so much more things to discover out here, and he could always come back to the Matham house. New things tempted him out into the cool air of the evening. The shimmering dome allowed sights of undersea life swimming backwards and forwards. The sharply tilted roofs, waiting to take the sudden brunt of a slipped amount of water, and carefully shunt it off onto the unsuspecting populace below, who were, let's be honest here, quite replaceable, whereas some of these buildings were ancient, and therefore not. Tiller cast around and saw something interesting to him. Another building, with a shimmering column of light ascending up, where it spread apart into the big dome that seemed to protect the city, like a tree, like a great willow hanging down. This was very interesting.
That's very interesting,
Tiller said about the very interesting thing.
So interesting.
Looping an end of rope over the large beam at the corner of the roof, which stuck out some in the style of the Githyanki buildings, he grabbed both ends and slowly let them fall down. Yes, it looked like it would be long enough. They were down, and so was the ground. What could possibly go wrong? Tiller grabbed both sides of the loop and slowly began lowering himself down towards the two trailing ends. If he held on to both sides of the rope, he wouldn't have to knot it in a loop, and could therefore just pull the whole rope back down to him on the ground. Tiller thought this was very clever, and it was about the time that he reached the end of the rope, 1 story down, that he realized it was not quite clever enough.
Ah,
He said, looking at the subsidiary lower roof. Well, the only thing for it was to swing back and forth, and then try to land on the roof. Then he could repeat the trick. Tiller successfully swung onto the roof, and letting go of one end of the rope, quickly pulled in the remaining rope from the other side. It made a whirring sound as the rope ran across the wooden beam, but soon Tiller had his rope back, and prepared to do the same trick again. Tiller's second attempt at the trick allowed him to reach the ground. He was very pleased with himself as he was pulling in the rope. But at that moment, as he was looking up, a head poked up from the top of the roof. Somehow, that mean soldier had managed to escape his cunning keep-him-busy trap, and he hadn't heard a big clattering. That was probably for the best, but he'd hoped that the mean man would be distracted longer.
oh yeah, I'm being chased, aren't I?
He said as he quickly ran off into the city, to the shouts of, "No! Stop! Come back! Why do I bother?" Tiller made his way through the city in the direction that he thought that building had been in. It had a vague temple-y look, and if one thing Tiller had learned is that temples were filled with exciting danger, which meant adventure. Perhaps this would be his opportunity to prove himself a great, big hero.